Hello everyone. I'm going to start a new playlist that will be for SQL Server, and in this video, in this playlist, I am going to cover many things like everything about SQL Server. How can we start on SQL Server from basics to advanced? So this is just introduction and syllabus. So this is the definition of SQL Server and the component of SQL Server that I will explain. But first, let me show the syllabus of this entire playlist. So in this playlist, after the introduction class, I will show you how to connect to SQL Server. Then how does query execute when we write any query on SQL Server. Basic SQL statement, limiting row, like how can we limit the row while fetching the data, filtering the data, like what are the methods available in SQL Server to filter the data, joining the data, grouping the data, subquery. In a subquery, we have two things. One is normal subquery, one is correlated subquery. Set operator like union all, CDE, it is just like a view. So everything, like in every individual lecture, I will explain what is that, how to do. Okay, and pivot in SQL Server, modifying the data like insert, update, delete, data definition, how to create some objects in SQL Server like table, schema, view, data, then data type. What are the data types available in SQL Server? Constraint, expression, view, function. So we have two type of function, user defined and predefined. So everything I will discuss in detail. Then there are some important topic like store procedure, dynamic procedure, difference between function and store procedure, temp table and trigger. And apart from this, one thing I have missed in the syllabus, that is regex in SQL Server. So I think in the current scenario, like in the industry, we are extensively using regex to filter out unwanted data or to just get a required data. Okay, so everything I will cover, like in the video playlist. I will have one more lecture for regex in SQL Server. So this is just about syllabus. Now let me define and just let me explain the what is SQL Server. SQL Server is a relational database management system, or RDBMS, developed and marketed by Microsoft. So everyone knows SQL Server is the RDBMS, and it is developed and marketed by Microsoft. SQL Server worked exclusively on Windows environment for more than 20 years. In 2016, Microsoft made it available on Linux. SQL Server 2017 became general available in October 2016. That ran on both Windows and Linux. So now, after I think since 2016, the SQL Server is available on both Windows and Linux. So SQL Server have two components. One is database engine, one is SQLOS. So what is database engine and what is SQLOS? Very simple. Database engine consists of a relational engine that process query, and storage engine that manage database files, page and indexes. So database objects such as store procedure, view and trigger are also created and executed by database engine. And then relational engine. So relational engine contains the component that determine the best way to execute a query. The relational engine is also known as query processor. And relational engine requests data from storage engine based on the input query and process the result. So very simple. I just read the definition like whatever it is written here, but if I need to explain, then database engine consists of relational engine. So in a database engine have two engine. One is relational engine, one is storage engine. So what does relational engine do? Relational engine just process the query, like whatever query we pass, it will process the query. And then storage engine mostly work on to store something, like manage database, file, pages, index. Okay, and we have a different kind of database object like store procedure, view, trigger are and these are the things created and executed by database engine. And again, relational engine contain the component that determine the best way to execute a query. So what happen when we pass some query to the like when we write some query on SQL Server, then internally SQL Server database engine have one relational engine. What does it do? Like there are many ways to execute a query inside the engine. So SQL Server database engine, which have a relational engine that determine like which one will be the best way, and it took the best way and then execute the query. So this is all about database engine. And now let's move to the SQL OS. So SQL OS provides many operating system service such as memory and input output management. Other service include exception handling and synchronization service. So the other component of SQL OS, so it's used to provide operating system services, like when we write a query, then how does it manage the memory and input output management, like that. So these things are not useful for the developer. It's just to get the knowledge, that's it. But the main thing will start for the developer, and whoever developer or analyst who is going to work on the SQL server. So these are the things will be important. So the below syllabus will be the important thing. So uh, that's all for SQL Server introduction. So from next video, I will start how to connect SQL Server. Thank you.